Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Paul's with us in Cincinnati to start this hour. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Doing better than I deserve. How are you?
Just the same, sir. What's up?
Okay. So, about 5 years ago, my aunt convinced my 92-year-old grandmother to change her will so that only she would inherit the property that my grandma owns on a lakefront in Florida when she passes. My grandma's 97 now, and her health is not very good. I was wondering if it would be wise to try to acquire the property by means of a property tax lien after my aunt inherits it, and she inevitably fails to pay the taxes on it.
Okay. So your aunt did talk your grandmother into doing something where the rest of the family got cut out. Is that what you're angry about? Am I getting this right?
That's right.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know Florida law, but that's probably not going to work. And sometimes you hear these guys, and you may have seen this, that may have been what prompted your idea, these guys in the real estate get-rich-quick world, and they say, go buy tax liens, and you can just, you buy people's back tax position, and then you become the owner of the property, and it's just easy. You can just do it all. Listen, I've done it like 6 times, like when I used to do real estate for a living and I was doing foreclosures for a living, never ended up with a single property. Because most states, including the one I'm in, have a right of redemption that is 1 year or 2 years. So let me give you an example. If Florida has that, and I don't know Florida law, okay, but let's pretend Florida has a 2-year right of redemption, which is pretty standard. Then you buy the property for the back taxes. The property sold because she didn't pay her taxes, and you buy it for back taxes, and you buy this $1 million property for $100,000. Okay, I'm making this up, but you follow my example so far? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then the former owner of the property has 2 years to give you $100,000 to buy the property back. That's the right of redemption, and you can do nothing with it during that 2 years, because if you do, let's say you're going in and do $100,000 worth of renovation, then they can redeem it for what you paid for it only, and you'll lose your renovation money, right? If you take out a mortgage to do this and you pay payments on the amount, the $100,000 you borrow to buy the tax lien out, and you pay payments on that, you don't get any of the payments back. All you can get back from the other owner when they buy it back from you is what you paid at the auction. So,
and I'm okay with that?
No, listen, here's what's going to happen. Right? If she loses it and she knows she can come back and get it for $100,000, it's worth $1 million, she's going to go get somebody to buy it. And so she'll come back, give you $100,000, buy it back, and resell it the instant she does that for $500,000. The other guy gets a deal. She puts $400 in her pocket and walk away. Unless she's an absolute lunatic, she's not going to walk away from a huge equity in a property tax state that has rights of redemption. So it's just.
Well, you do say there's crazy in every family, right?
Yeah, this is a different kind of lunacy I'm talking about. This is like anyway. Yeah. So,
Paul, when you said she convinced your grandmother, is your grandmother not all mentally, like, did she do it from a almost an illegal standpoint of her not being?
Was your grandmother not of sound mind?
Yeah.
She was deemed not sound of mind about 2 months after the will was changed.
Well, I would dispute the will then, but I think you're better off to dispute the will on that basis.
Okay.
Because she didn't suddenly lose her mental faculties within a 60-day period of time.
Right.
So if you've got a doctor's opinion 60 days after the will was changed, that will's probably not valid. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm right.
I believe you.
Okay. So I would spend my money on that angle. And really, what I would do, truthfully, is I would just sit down with your aunt and say, what you did was wrong. And you know it was wrong because Granny was not of sound mind. And this will is not going to stand. So instead of us fighting about this in court, why don't you do the right thing and let's redraft all of this and, come to an agreement that the family is going to have even disbursement of this instead of you stealing this from your siblings. because I'm not going to allow you to steal it from my mom and dad. I'm going to sue you. So we need to work this out without the lawyers, because the lawyers are going to get it all if we use them.
Yeah.
I would just sit down and confront.
And it's not worth I pay a lawyer for it.
The property's not valuable?
It's the land itself is worth about $50,000 to $70,000, and the house is worth what a scrapyard would pay for the aluminum.
Okay, so why do you care?
It's where we spent every Christmas when I was growing up. It's where I learned how to fish with my grandpa, who's been gone for about 20 years now.
Yeah.
And I'd like to keep it as a holiday home for my family, and maybe even live there in when my wife and I are up there in years.
I'm sorry that your aunt is a twerp and is messing with the family's memories, and I'm sorry that it breaks the little boy that lives inside of his heart. I'm going to tell you, having been in these situations myself many times in the last 63 years, just let it go. Forget it. Just forget it and move on. It ain't worth it. Go get you some memories with your babies. Go get you some memories with your buddies and the couples that you all love, and spend time with them and build a new set somewhere else. That's what your grandpa did originally, and he didn't do all this for y'all to fight. Just let it go. That's what I would do. It's hard for me to do that.
Which is hard because it's not justice.
It's not justice. It's hard for me to do that because I'm a hillbilly and I'd rather fight you than not. But it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It just turn it loose. It's just if it was $1.5 million or something, we can argue about it. But I don't. For $50,000,
right.
He's right. He's going to spend all his money on a lawyer. And the other thing, man, these people are living rent free in your head for the next 3 years while you're in court dealing with this. You have tenants that took up residence between your ears.
Yes.
Because it becomes all consuming, and it's all you can think about, and it's not worth it. It's not worth $50,000. Just let it go. I know you were hurt, and I know she's wrong, and Rachel's right. It's not justice.
Yeah.
It's not justice. It's just.
But for your well-being, Paul.
It's just wise
to move on and live your life.
Yeah. Spend the money and the headspace that you would have spent on this, setting up a new deal and a new legacy that will cause your grandfather to be in heaven smiling at you. Spend your time on that, man. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.